All right, we're going to keep building on the demanding greatness, simplicity for incredible results. Today we are going to talk about weight training. Yesterday we covered nutrition. The day before we covered aerobic capacity and conditioning. So let's get stuck into weight training. Now, there are many nuances into weight training that we could go into. And I'm not really going to talk about the specifics and how to program and how to structure. What I'm more going to discuss today is the mentality behind the weight training. Now, I have programs. You can get into demanding greatness and I'll design the program specifically for you. But as a general rule, we're going to talk about just pick some weights. There are thousands upon thousands of programs on the internet that you could follow. You could go to ChatGPT and get one made up for you. What I want to cover is how you execute it. Yes, programming does matter. How that shows up does matter. But I actually think more than anything that if you lift heavy and you execute correctly, you will get great results. Now, the catch on that is when lifting heavy, and I'm a man and I love lifting heavy shit, we are not allowed to get our ego in the way. And I've been there. That's why I can say this. I have been there. I have slipped a disc in my back. I have dislocated my shoulder. I have done these things when I was young, dumb, and stupid. I let my ego get the best of me. I let my ego call the shots. And it's a bad fucking idea. That is not what we are doing. Heavy means that it is taxing. Heavy means that it is placing you under load. Heavy is not the heaviest fucking thing that you can pick up. It is just heavy enough to tax you and put you under pressure. That is what we are focusing on. That is what we need to get. That is the area that we need to cover it. Okay? Then the execution. Again, this comes back to ego. We are not moving that weight as fast as possible. We are controlled. It is smooth. It is about the intensity. It is about the idea that we are moving it under. So it is about nice and slow, controlled, coming down, pausing at the bottom. We are looking for time under tension, tut. Here, we are trying to deliver the best possible, I suppose, methodology of load here that we can give it. Okay, so nice and slow. Usually I like to think about a 3-1-3 method. If you can push into a 4-1-4-1 method, that's even better. So to clarify, that is a 4-second eccentric, so coming down movement. So I always demonstrate bench. I don't know why that's so simple, but it applies to everything. So coming down, nice and controlled, smooth, pause for a second at the bottom, nice and controlled, smooth, coming up, pause at the top. You want to squeeze the muscles really hard. You want to give them everything you've got. We are keeping it controlled. We are moving the weight smoothly. As I said, you want the weight to have great mechanical load so that you are challenging the muscles, that you are, by the end of it, struggling to get it up. And they found, and I thought this was crazy because when I was studying and I got qualified as a trainer, we were taught that, which is, it's always weird, but this is what has been taught for the longest period of time. So what was it? Sub 5 is strength. 6 to 8 is muscle building. 8 to 10 is, what was 8 to 10? I can't remember. We're going back so fucking long. And then 15 plus was an endurance. Anyway. Sub 5 was power. 6 to 8 was muscle building. 8 to 10 was strength. And then 15 plus was endurance. This was the concept that they worked on. Now what they've determined, which makes logical sense, and I'm glad that we finally reached that, is that anything that creates mechanical tension and pushes you into close to the failure point will create hypertrophy, which will then in turn create strength and all those kinds of things. So it doesn't really matter overall what rep range you're using, as long as you get to proper mechanical tension and close to muscular failure. I prefer, especially if you are doing recovery properly and things like this, and people will argue and we can get into semantics, and unless you are trying to be a bodybuilder, the semantics don't really matter. We're trying to build a great physique. We're trying to build the greatest version of you, and this will work. That I got a failure on every set, no matter what. And so, as I said, I want to keep that mechanical tension smooth and controlled. But as you fatigue out, you're going to push it. You are going to drive up, and you need to fight for every fucking inch. That last rep should be you grinding, and that it probably won't move very fast. And it'll probably get stuck, and you need to fight, and you need to fight, and you need to fight until there is nothing left. But it also means you probably only need 2, maybe 3 sets on that exercise to really push it. Usually in total, I'm probably only doing 15 sets per workout because I am pushing my body to its absolute limits on that. On top of that, I like to add, so you've ground that out. Again, we'll use bench press as the simplest answer, or dumbbells or whatever, just for any simple example. Once you've ground it out and there's nothing left, you then want to go into a mechanical stretch. So you're getting into that stretch point, and you adjust about 5 to 10 really baby, tiny movements, that bottom end range movement. And this has been shown to deliver great muscle development in that bottom range, that stretch point position kind of thing. And then you want to hold the stretch for it. And this applies for all. You'll have to work it out. As I said, if you want the specifics, let's get into demanding greatness, and I'll build this program for you, and I'll walk you through every step of the way. But if you just want to take it on your own, work it out. There are 10 million videos out there on how to do this. And I'll probably end up creating some at a later date, but today I'm just trying to keep it simple. But yeah, you go into that bottom end range motion, 5 to 10 in that, and then hold the stretch position, 10, maybe 15 seconds, depending on how you're going. You do that on every rep, on every exercise, you will be shocked at how fast your body develops. You will be shocked at how much development you can gain from doing that. It'll be insane. As I said, I want to keep this simple. I'm not trying to get into the depths of programming and what's best and how to structure programs and volume and all this kind of stuff. We can talk about recovery and all that kind of thing. No, today I'm just talking simple, straightforward things. I want you to push to failure. I want you to keep it slow and controlled. We are not doing ego lifting here. We are not trying to move the maximum weight possible. No, we are here to push the weight smoothly and controlled. It does need to be heavy, but we're not trying to blow out a shoulder, a back, whatever it might be. We are just moving heavy weight in a smooth and controlled manner. You need to push until you've got nothing left on every single set. So that means that last rep is probably grinding it out. It's holding and you're pushing. You'll probably get stuck at the sticking point, that halfway point, and it'll get stuck. That's fine. Push and push and push until you got nothing left. Drop it into the stretch position. You can drop the weight down if you must. Try and do it with the same weight, but if you must drop it down, drop it down. Then 5 to 10 in that bottom stretch position, still controlled. They can be a little bit faster, but controlled. We're not trying to get an injury here. And then hold in that stretch position for 10 to 15 seconds. Maybe 2 to 3 sets per exercise, maybe 5 exercises. And what you'll see is astronomical results. Mentally, physically, everything. Your body will change. You'll get greater muscle development. You'll be pushed to your limits. But it also comes up to what's up here. You have to be willing to get into the trenches on the mental game and fight through. Because you get a few sets into that, your body's going to be like, what the actual fuck are you doing? You do this properly and you'll find that you'll actually have to cut your weight down. As I said, it needs to be heavy, but it's about control. It's about doing it correctly as well. And you'll find that the results will flock in. As I said, this is about keeping it simple. I wanted to show you the mentality and the skills to make this as simple as possible. This will deliver that. this will deliver incredible results. Like, I truly mean incredible results. I've been refining this not just through demanding greatness over years, but as long as I can keep my head locked in and I can focus and I can drive and my recovery's on point, but that's a discussion for a whole different day, you will see the results like nobody's fucking business. It will change the game for you. But most people, I find, are not pushing hard enough. They are not working into those range of motions to do that. They are not pushing the limits on it. And often doing too much volume overall. But I train every single day using this method, using the recovery, and doing it correctly. You will see great fucking results on this. And it will change your mindset that goes with it. But it's about, again, the three big things: consistency, intensity, and effort. You need to be able to give these things. You need to be able to give consistency, intensity, and effort in these areas so that you can have a different game, so that you can show up differently, so that you can get the results that you want. But it doesn't need to be overly complex. It doesn't need to be something crazy. It just needs to be executed properly. So there you have it. That's all I have for you. Tomorrow will be the last installment of this one. I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the demanding greatness mindset and what comes with it. Really focusing on those three big pillars once again: consistency, intensity, and effort. Because if you combine the 3 days that I've just given you prior, plus that mindset, you give me 126 days, you will be a different beast. People will be asking you, what the fuck did you do? And you can tell them, I just kept it simple. But that's all I have for you, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Keep demanding greatness.